Greetings, true believers. It's your old pal Spider-Man. Good morning, cadre. It's KJ here. Taco Tuesday, so I'm wearing my taco shirt. Not exactly the same taco, but this is my favorite sushi is taco. So that's what I'm wearing today. Maybe make some tacos? I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna do a couple things today. First of all, I'm using Mystic Water Raspberry Lemon for my soap because I'm going through some of my Mystic Water scents that I've had for a while and just haven't gotten around to using yet. Some of them I've used samples of in the past, and so I knew what it smelled like and just never got around to it. For my brush, I'll be using my very first Badger brush ever, which is this Everready. I won this in a PIF 8-9 years ago whenever I started wet shaving, and was my very first Badger brush. It was reknotted with a TGN Best bore, I believe. This thing's been through a lot. It's starting to shed. Some of the hairs are starting to break off, so it's seen better days, but still one of my favorite brushes, and definitely one of my favorite handles. And the reason why I like the Paladin Buck Rogers brushes so much, because they kind of have a similar inspiration. But today we are going to do the Assured Dollar Store Razor Challenge. So yes, this razor, double edge razor, was purchased at Dollar Tree for $1. Came with 5 blades, the Assured blades. So we're gonna give it a go and see what kind of shave we can get for $1. So these blades, as others have indicated, are double wrapped. From hearing people talk about them, they said sometimes these blades have little nicks or gouges in the edge, so just look for that. I don't see any. So I don't think any of this is plastic, but it's very, very cheap metal. It's very light, but we're gonna give it a go, see what we can do. So actually this raspberry lemon is one that I didn't have a sample of beforehand, but the Rosy Limon, the rose lemon one, I really enjoyed, and knew just off of how the rose lemon and how the lemon paired with that, that I would probably like the raspberry lemon. I'm not a big fan of raspberry like to eat, but I do like the scent of raspberry. So I thought it would be a good scent for a soap. Definitely a good summertime scent. I know it's not summertime right now, but just kind of going through. And they really are blended well. Like it's a raspberry lemon scent. It's not like raspberry and lemon separate, that you're smelling the notes individually. You just smell them together, and they're mixed really nice. So this brush has lost a lot of its backbone and body, so it's pretty floppy. Okay. dollar store razor. Here we go. Initially, doesn't feel too bad. It's definitely loud. The light metal. It's kind of making the cutting sound a bit more up front. It doesn't feel super aggressive, but it's got some blade feel. Now, not every Dollar Tree carries these. I know my local one does not. I had to stop at a different Dollar Tree when I was in the big city, Kansas City, and pick up a couple of them there. I wanted to get a couple to at least compare them and just make sure I wasn't just buying one and grabbing one that might be defective, because they're cheap, so you gotta figure that there's gonna be some quality control issues at some point, and they're not all gonna be decent. So I picked up 3 of them and took them all out, compared them. They all seemed about the same. There was some differences between them as far as the safety bars. One side, the safety bar was a little bit more out than the other, but that was the exact same on all 3 razors. And I've heard stories from a few people where their razor has spontaneously combusted, or rather just broken apart. And I wanted to make sure I had a couple of them just in case something like that happened, and I could still move on to another one and still get the shave. So really, I can't really, at this point, say too much bad about the razor or the blade. It's not a super smooth blade, but I don't really see much wrong with it. I'm kind of getting maybe a little bit of irritation under my neck, but that's pretty normal. I get that with a lot of blades. Kind of a sensitive area. But, so just briefly feeling my face right there after the second pass, I can say it's definitely not as close as a fresh blade, like one of my feathers or my personas, which are a couple of my go-tos. So let's see where we're at after pass 3. So there was a challenge on the shaving cadre to use these for 3 shaves, and I was gone for part of the challenge and I didn't have a razor, so I'm joining it late, but I will post this and my thoughts in that thread to add to the discussion there. and I will do it for 3 shaves. And then I kind of want to put the Assured blade in a different razor and see how it behaves there, and put a different blade in this razor and see how it is, and see if there's a winning combination out of any of that. So really, now after I'm done with 3 passes, it's not as bad as I thought. It's still not as close, but really not too far off. I could probably do a little bit of touch-up, but I'm not gonna push it and risk getting a little bit of irritation, so we're gonna leave it at that. It's a decent shave. It's definitely more stubble left over than I'm used to. So not super close, but is what it is. It's a cheap razor. So basically, you know, if for some reason you were traveling and lost your razor, or traveling by air and for some reason TSA wouldn't let you take it on the plane, which they should, as long as you don't have a blade in it. But something happens to your razor and you got a Dollar Tree, you can go find a DE razor and at least get an acceptable shave, not a great shave by any stretch. We're gonna finish up with St. Charles Shave Lime. Wonderful, wonderful lime scent, just very, very fleeting, which is common for lime scents. There's not too many limes out there that have any kind of longevity, but a very nice aftershave anyways. So, there we go. Completed Assured shave. It feels pretty good going like with the grain, but when you go against the grain, it's definitely more stubble there than normal. So not as close, but is what it is for a $1 razor and a pack of blades. I don't know what kind of longevity you can get out of those blades. Maybe a week. I don't know. Maybe that's something to test out. See how long that blade will last, and know how far your $1 is actually going to stretch you, whether it'll go a month or 2 or longer. I don't know. Not sure if I want to attempt that one, but have a good day, Cadre. We'll see you guys on the forums. I'm Spy.